I think it's just rotten.
Rotten
like,
Tomato.
Not good.
Yeah. So, House of the Dead had 3. This movie had 1.
You found a 1% rated movie?
Yes, and no wonder it was free, because I watched the movie.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Games.
I was worried you weren't going to say the last few letters. I was going to say, wow.
I was like, what? What? Oh. Well,
like,
we are doing video game movies, and maybe I just watched a video game movie that was based off of Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 online
Lobbies.
Xbox chat in the early aughts.
Yes. Quote, you would have never have survived in those, and it's like, a lot of us have. That doesn't mean we like to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, we did watch video games. I don't think either of us would have watched a war video game movie, though. Although we do have on our wheel watching a war movie not about war. We're not there yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said you watched something from a certain era, and it made you laugh a lot, right?
Yeah, what did I say? I think whatever the quote. Oh yeah, I said video game movies of a certain time are the same as most of those Christmas horror movies we watched. It was an amazingly terrible experience. Would recommend 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so based on that, I don't think we watched the same movie this week, and that's okay. That's kind of the point of this, right? To surprise each other.
Yeah, no, like, I would say I wouldn't watch my movie outside. Like, there's no way I would watch the movie I chose without any other context except for what we're doing now. Ooh, excuse me. And the thing that it just made me laugh so much. When we get to explaining the movies, I will say why I chose the movie that I did.
Yeah, we don't have any strict rules for this series. If you're new here and you're just dropping into this series in particular, we have a wheel of 50 options, and we're just spinning through, and each of us is picking our own movie to watch based on that prompt. This week, from the title, is adapted from a video game. The only rule that Itisdpayne and I have been holding for ourselves, we didn't write this down, but we both kind of agreed that we would try and not rewatch a movie if we could help it. Mm-hmm. There are some things on here where we might end up rewatching a movie, but, we'll figure it out when we get there. I went with What Could I Get at the Library? Unfortunately, a lot of the movies that sound like belong in the time period of your movie do not exist in the library because nobody else would check it out. Nobody else is looking for movies in that particular time period.
I feel like all the copies of this movie got treated the same way that if it's a true story, how E.T. for the Atari got treated. They got buried in the woods somewhere or shoved down a mine
Cannot
or
be
something.
found again. You're lucky you found it online to watch.
Yeah. Funny enough, it wasn't hard to find online. It was right on Tubi. Next to the other one I was about to watch until I saw the one that I watched.
That's fair. Yeah, I went with one available at the library because I was going back and forth because Strider and I were talking and we were like, maybe I should watch something for a video game I played. And there is a movie that came out pretty recently for a game that I have played all the way through. And I'm assuming this is not the movie you watched, so I'm just going to say it.
If it came out recently, it did not.
It was Until Dawn. And
okay.
I've technically watched it, played through multiple times because different people at the time I was with were like, let's get all the different endings. And I got the survival ending. I don't know what the right term is, but I've played and I'm aware of like a lot of the game and everything. So he was like, what if you watch the Until Dawn movie? And I was reading the Does the Dog Die website and I was looking at the different warnings. I was like, what does any of this have to do with the video game? I don't want to have to watch some of these warnings that are listed here. But from what I understand, the Until Dawn movie is not the game, but instead is like time loop things that could happen in a horror situation.
Okay.
Whereas, like, and I guess you do need to change it theoretically, because if someone's played the Until Dawn game, it is kind of
Yeah.
like, I forget what the subgenre of video games is, where it's like you're playing through a movie.
Yeah, that's like.
It's not a full FMV, that's the word I'm looking for, where it's the fully acted out, but it has a similar like feeling to it. But at the same time, I was like, I don't think I want to sit through some of them. Like, some of the warnings were about like bugs crawling under skin, and I was like, what does that have to do with a video game? What is how did we get here? There's another one about like different body parts being like brutally like crushed, and one of the warnings was like, is someone beheaded? They're like, no, but their head is eviscerated and it's very gruesome. I was like, oh, I don't think I need to watch this. So if you're ever curious about whether you can handle what's in a movie, I do recommend the Does the Dog Die website. Are there theoretically spoilers? Sure. But if there's anything you think you might want to avoid, especially horror is like that interesting bag where sometimes they're respectful and sometimes they like do too much. Do recommend that.
Speaking about horror, I went on Tubi. I think it was to watch this movie, and I was just surprised because it had Hereditary on there. It had like some that I remember were being pushed pretty hard on Prime when I had Prime Video, and I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe I'll actually watch it. And then as soon as I finished watching my movie, I forgot that they existed. So I don't remember what the movie was.
The beauty of advertising, you're like, I don't need it, and then you see it and you go, maybe I do need it. Maybe I should watch it now. And then you walk away and go, I never needed to.
Yeah. It was just more, I was like, okay, how long am I going to be stuck in Snow Town? So.
Yes. I mean, some of the streets by me are fine at best. A lot of the streets near me are usually two-way streets, but they're basically one-way streets. So, not sure if your town's much better.
Yeah, it is. I was able to drive like the next day. So, but I have also got upstate New York experience of driving in snow and all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, just don't get in my way.
The snow isn't what bothered me. It's like we've talked about it a little bit before recording about the wintry mix of it all. Yeah. Where there's just a sheet of ice if you're not paying attention. My one friend did drive the day after, and she saw a car pulled over, their windshield completely destroyed because somebody didn't clean off the top of their car. So I chose to stay home because I did not trust people to properly clean off the top of their car.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, I know it's a law, and I think in New York it's a law. I don't know.
It's a law, but I don't know how many people were enforcing anything. Because it's one of those, if they're already driving,
easy.
You can't always catch them.
Never mind, I'm not going to make the joke that just popped in my head. So,
with that said, do you want to roll some dice?
Yeah, you get to choose what die we get to roll.
Oh my goodness. What did we roll last? Oh, I wrote it down.
We have it recorded.
Yeah, if this is your first episode you're dropping in, Itisdpayne and I love to roll dice because we like to play tabletop role-playing games. And to really spice it up this time, because last season we rolled a D12 because we were watching 12 different directors through the year. I think before that we rolled, was it a D20 for A24 movies? Like who gets to talk first?
Yes.
Yeah, so now we are putting a bunch of arbitrary rules together to make things harder for ourselves, because what is life if not full of challenges?
Yeah.
So I cannot pick. Okay, the rules we have. Whoever rolls lowest goes first in presenting the movie they watched and describing it. Also, for anybody new here, no spoilers. You won't find any spoilers here because we're both introducing movies to each other.
Yes.
The winner picks the die rolled, which you already hinted at. I hinted at that I cannot pick the same type of dice twice in a row. So last week we rolled a d20. And last week you added that if someone loses twice in a row, you get to roll with advantage, trying to get the lowest number. So I will pick... What have we not rolled yet? Let's roll a d6.
Aha.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 1.
Rude.
It's me again.
That means next week I get advantage. Oh, shoot. I got to come up with another rule. Oh, man. This is the, like, real tough part. Is just, like, thinking of a rule to add. I liked it better when you had to add rules, because then I didn't have to think of it. Let's see. Must share social security. No. Let's see.
Every time someone wins, they give 1 digit of their social security to the other person.
If you lose 4 times in a row, you minus your 2 die numbers.
Try and get as low. So you can go negative to hopefully go first. Okay.
Yes. I'm just thinking of ways so that way...
It's not one-sided again.
Yeah. Well, I don't care if it's one-sided. I'm just thinking of what would be something fun. So, but, like, also, it's not happening every week. So, if it's... Lose... I don't know how to spell... like, twice. What is 4... What's 4... The...
Thrice.
Thrice is 3.
Just say 4 times.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a word for...
Thrice.
What happens if I look up twice but for the number 4?
Welcome to increase your vocabulary section.
This says, again, I don't know how true this is because it's just a website, but it says quarce or quadrice for 4 times. Oh, it also says, of course, none of these words past thrice are officially correct.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a person that I see on Instagram. She cracks me up. I think it's Chinese with Jessie, or Jessie teaches Chinese. She goes on and it's just like says like English, how the English language doesn't make sense, and it's just it sounds like something she would go on about. It is really funny because she's like, here's people using Chinese characters in tattoos. And just like, there's so many things that it's just like
Grammatically wrong with them.
Grammatically wrong, not like just even translated doesn't make sense. Like it's just like random words put together. And it's like, okay, it's either Google Translator wasn't having it, or
they saw a picture and went, just give that to me.
Or they went to a Chinese what are they called, tattoo artist, and they just they're like, nah. Just so yeah, man, this is what it means. But sure, you get to go first. So right.
So in a wild twist of events,
oh wait, I almost forgot to write down the time.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, keep going, and then
I almost watched a newly released movie for this.
Oh.
I was very close to it because I hadn't watched a movie yet, but I picked up a movie from the library. And Strider came up to me and he goes, a movie came out in theaters just the other day, produced by Markiplier. I said, yeah?
Yeah.
And I was like, what video game movie? He was like, Iron Lung. I was like, oh, I watched you guys play that. He was like, if you want to go. We were capable of going yesterday, but once I was inside my house, I was like, it's really warm inside my house. And if I don't have to leave my house, because I went, for my mom's birthday, we went and got a hot pot. So immediately after hot pot, I was like, I'm a little sleepy. Let me kind of like, if I go now, I'm going to fall asleep in the theater. So then we sat at home, and then a couple hours passed. I was like, I'm okay being home. I don't have to leave the house again. I had other errands that I could have done, but it was, again, that list of like, could I, should I, but
Nah.
I also didn't feel pushed because I did have this from the, like, I already had this DVD.
Library. Yeah.
So it wasn't like I needed to leave the house. So what I ended up watching was also a pretty recent release. I think a second one has been announced since everything. But Five Nights at Freddy's, I watched that movie. I will put a disclaimer. I picked this up from the library and like started to watch it, and I didn't realize that the creator has made donations to some suspect people in the past, and chose, instead of confronting the fact that he has a very queer fan base for the game, and they were like, hey, what are these political donations about? He goes, I'm just gonna retire, peace. And it's like, oh, okay. To each their own. But take that with what you will. I'm gonna sit in the solace that I got this from my library, and at least I supported my library through this and didn't give him like money out of my pocket. But in any case, yes, Five Nights at Freddy's. If somehow you have stumbled upon this podcast and didn't realize that we were streamers, this is a video game that has plagued many a streamers like, you should play this. I think it'd be funny to watch you to react to this life for a long time. I played the first one when it was only the first one out with friends, and the people I was with could not do jump scares, so they're like, you control the mouse. And I was like, after you kind of see the animation a few times, like for me, it's like, okay, I know what to expect, so I'm not scared anymore, whereas everybody else in the room was like, and I'm just like, okay, guys. But from my understanding, I believe Five Nights at Freddy's as a series has expanded into like having books, having multiple games, having full backstories. All the characters have specific backstories to them. So that's really cool, as far as like something that I remember started as kind of just a point and click like jump scare game has expanded into this full universe. So yeah, the hardest part for me was finding video game movies available at my library or on a service that my library provides, especially ones that I haven't seen already. So Five Nights at Freddy's was available at all the libraries because, like I said, it's a 2023 movie. So it's pretty recent, especially for the movies I prefer to watch. I don't usually watch stuff this new. Are you aware of anything about the movie?
No, I never played the games. I know Matthew Lillard's in it. I know that.
See, Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson are the two reasons I was like, fine, I'll just watch this movie. Because I think I did say to Strider afterwards, Matthew Lillard's performance specifically, I would probably give like really high points to. Okay, before I go into my thoughts about the movie, let me give the general overall explanation. So I'll speak from it in terms of like, if you know nothing about the universe. I will say you don't need to know anything about the universe to watch the movie, but it probably, like, there's references and ways that the characters act that kind of make sense if you have some more background. Strider hasn't played all the games, but he's watched streamers play it. So he was able to give me little snippets and things that, like, either did or didn't make sense in the video game lore versus the movie lore. But as far as the movie goes, you have Josh Hutcherson as the main character. He plays a character named Mike. And as soon as they said his name was Mike, I was like, he doesn't look like a Mike. And me and Strider were like, yeah, he doesn't look like a Mike. But he seems to be having trouble holding down a job. And he's hoping to hold down a job because he has a younger sister that he has to support because he doesn't have any other parental figures in his life. They don't give an exact age to him. If I had to take a guess, between 20 and 30 kind of age range.
Okay.
And he's, like, struggling to find a job. He goes to this job agency, and the guy's like, you got fired from, like, 3 different things in the last few months. And he's like, well, I think I might have a job for you. And the main character is like, well, I can't do nights because I have a sister, and I can't pay for a babysitter to do overnights. And the guy's like, oh, that's a shame. And then the kind of crux of the movie is they have an aunt who she's only in it for like social security checks. She clearly doesn't really care about the family. She's she feels very disconnected from everybody else. But she's like, I'll take custody of her, and the main character is like, fine, I'll take the job with shitty hours, and hopefully that at least looks good on paper so that social services doesn't take my sister away from me. So takes the job. It is at Freddy's Pizzeria, which is the main setting. And you kind of get snippets about how in the 80s it was a very popular, like, Chuck E. Cheese equivalent, where you have animatronics, kids' games, and everything like that. And it's been run down ever since. And it's kind of like this derelict building, but it still has power and everything. It's just like his job is told to just keep people out and to keep the place clean. And for whatever reason, there's this whole plot line where he's like lucid dreaming about, he has a brother that's gone missing, and he's lucid dreaming about that every night and has the same dream every night. So he's on like sleep medication because otherwise he like has trouble getting to sleep and suffers from insomnia. And then while he's there, he kind of gets more of the lore about like what happened at the pizzeria, starts making different connections, and like ultimately has to like, how do I phrase it? Stop what's causing a lot of the evil that's centered around this pizzeria. As far as like a video game, the actual Five Nights at Freddy's, the first one was basically just animatronics come to life and try and kill you, so you need to like keep them from killing you for so long at night. So they kind of gave him that job, except the animatronics weren't necessarily interacting with him directly, but instead the movie takes it and talks more about like how the animatronics came to be what they were and what it means for the people involved in it, is I guess how I would say it. If I had to give it a genre, I guess thriller mystery. I don't know. It has a lot of supernatural stuff in it, but not in a way that I think works. Okay. So then there's that. So then I'll get into my thoughts of the movie now. Basically what I would say is it is a very average movie. It is technically a movie. There's technically a beginning, a middle, and an end. It gets a little muddy in some places where I was like, how did we get here? There's a point I looked at Strider, I said, did they cut a half hour of dialogue? Because I don't understand why these characters are interacting like this. Like in one scene, she's like, oh my god. There's like another character that gets introduced. She's like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for you guys, is how she like comes off. And then in a scene later, she goes, if you show up here again, I'm going to shoot you. I was like, did I fall asleep? How did I?
You're lucid dreaming now.
But so I feel like some of the dialogue and story decisions were very like not great. I would say, like, Strider and I agreed, whoever storyboarded this movie clearly likes the series. Like, there are some different things in it that even me, only like catching glimpses of other streamers playing the games or from what I remember of the games, feels like the video game. Because the video game has like security cameras and you're meant to watch them from eerie angles, and they had different scenes with the different animatronics that were like, it felt like it was the video game in certain respects. What I do have to give a 10 out of 10, which is very surprising, and this will throw you for a loop, and I only found out about it because we clicked the special settings, because Strider was like, how do these work, right? Like, he was like, is this like a hand puppet? What is this? Jim Henson Productions did the animatronic puppetry. So it is not CGI'd at all. These massive human-sized Chuck E. Cheese characters are human puppeted with robotic puppeteers on the side to do the eyes and ears and little details.
I'm looking up the puppets now. All I think I got was screenshots from...
Yeah, because there was in the DVD menu, they gave you like a background behind how the animatronics worked, and they showed the human actors in it. They showed like the costuming. They showed it all, and we were like, "Wow, okay, you got to give them credit because that was really well done."
Do
you have any good pictures? Let's see.
Oh, yeah. I think I found one. Oh, I don't want to open the link. I want to open up the picture.
But that's a fan wiki. I don't want the wiki. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find a good example photo. Because in the...
Is that it? The one I sent you?
Yeah, I think that's from the movie set. And here's like an actual...
It's just, no more Mr. Nice Bear.
Essentially. But yeah, so I thought that was like... I did not expect it. And yeah, here's a picture with one of the actors or like suit makers wearing the helmet. In the interviews, they said for some of the actors, the helmets were upwards of like 16 pounds. And they said like the actual costume wasn't terrible, but it was the helmet because, and they were like, yeah, we call it a helmet because it's all encompassing. It wraps around your whole head. So you don't really, like, you can't see very well. But but yeah, they have it so that the actors can actually wear the suit and like do the physicality. And one of them said the hardest part, because you're supposed to move like a robot, is for some scenes you have to stand in the same position for minutes at a time to give that like animatronic feeling. So they were like, yeah, I could lean forward and then I'd have to stay leaning forward for like 5 minutes, and all of a sudden your body is like you know, your abs and your back and everything is working. So yeah, I would give the like actual stuff. Like, we were curious how much was CGI'd. Apparently like very little in post. They tried to do as little in post as possible. They even have in the movie, they have changing eyes to signify like, oh, the animatronic is normal or it's evil, and it would have like normal lit eyes or red lit eyes.
Yeah,
I think it was emphasized in post, but they actually showed that they rigged up lighting inside of the mask to have the eyes glow different colors and everything like that. And I was like, I didn't anticipate to like
well, they got the people to do it.
Yeah, if it was gonna be any other puppeteering group, it was gonna be them. And Matthew Lillard is in the interview too, because he's his character in the movie is a very like, it's a villain, right, for lack of a better term. He plays a villain in the movie. And then in the interview, he's just his jovial self. He's like, yeah, it was crazy. It was weird being in the suit. And I was like, you're such a cool guy.
Yeah, I remember seeing interviews with Matthew Lillard where he was like, yeah, I didn't know anything about going into it. And then after that, I watched and played all the games, or watched, I think he said he watched it with his kids or something like that, who were into it. And he's like, yeah, man. And then he was just like nerding out of like all the stuff he just learned. So...
No, yeah, I think, like, if they were gonna get anybody to be some of the bigger characters in it, I think Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard were the better plays. And there were some scenes, like, while some things were so cheesy that I had to laugh at because, like, it's, I don't know the way that it was set up, but, there is definitely some CGI because there are deaths in it, etc., etc. Sorry if people take that to heart. I just mean, at least for the puppeteering, they did not do much in post for them. Because I'm used to seeing, like, behind the scenes of, say, like, Game of Thrones, and they're all petting, like, a green head and going, yes, dragon, I see you. But there are a couple scenes where Josh Hutcherson's character, we were like, his acting did not match the tone of the scene. But that's what we mean that, like... It felt like some parts of it might have been cut weird to make it fit within it was a very, like, condensed 2 hours. Some of the supernatural storytelling I don't think was necessary. I think you could have just done all the security system stuff. I mean, you and I love the movie Green Room, and it essentially takes place in one place for the whole movie, and it still feels like a good, tight movie. But yeah, they... tried to add in this whole like family storyline into it that I was just like, sure, I guess that's stakes. And they had like plot reveals at one point and I was just like, I don't care about the side character. Like, she's supposed to be a police officer, and she's like, yeah, the pizzeria used to be where, like, I loved it as a kid. Oh, and it's like on my beat, so I just drive by it all the time. And then she starts saying stuff, and me and Starter are like, is she bad at her job? Is she a real cop? Like, at one point, she lets him use her police cruiser. And we're like, that doesn't seem right. At another point, someone's like, we're gonna break in and trash the place. And she watched him lock up the pizzeria and goes, okay, you go get some rest because you just got off shift and it's like 6 a.m. and the sun's up. Because in the video games, you're supposed to do stuff until 6 a.m. But anyway, she's like, yeah, go ahead and lock up. It's 6 a.m. See you tomorrow when you're on shift again. And then she comes back to his house hours later and goes, someone broke in. It's because you didn't lock the door. And Strider's like, she watched him lock the door. She was there. So it was like weird little like, it was clearly like the heart and soul of the movie was in the last chunk of it. And they didn't know what to do to, like, bring it all. Yeah. And, well, some of the exposition dumps were also very painful. So when I say it is technically a movie, it is fine. There's... it was... But I would only rewatch it knowing how the puppets are made so I could pay more attention to them. Because I fully believed that somebody went in and rendered them. Like, they looked and acted really cool. And there were just certain scenes, like, there's a little cupcake thing that one of the animatronics holds.
Okay.
And it was biting people. And Strider's like, oh, is it like a hand puppet? Right? Like, which would make sense for the Henson Company. But I think it was fully robotic looking at some of the video clips from the interviews.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he was like, I want to see how they work. And we watched it. We went, the Henson Monster Factory was on this. Hello? So that was kind of cool. And I thought that you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I have a bigger appreciation because we watched their movies in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy just thinking of how much, like, the Jim Henson Company, how much they pushed, like, puppeteering and stuff.
Yeah, like, I sent you those pictures. You probably wouldn't have guessed those were puppets. They look like things you'd put in a museum.
Yeah. It's, it's just crazy. And just seeing how, like, a lot of their stuff still holds up today. And really the Muppets and, like, the Sesame Street stuff, well, not all of them, but so many of them are so, like, they're not super complicated to make. Like, there's one, I'm blanking on his name. I think it's not Rizzo. Rizzo's a rat. It's I thought it begins with an R, but it's a dog that plays, like, blues on the piano. And his costume is just a dog head and then, like, a large blanket that people can hide under and then, like, put their hand up. So it's like they got their mouth here and then, like, their hand is everything there. So it's always shot from one side as he's playing the piano. And then I think, and that was, like, the old ones. And then I think later they gave him 2 hands. So
that's funny. But no, yeah. It is impressive work that they did. So, yeah. I wonder if I can find on YouTube, I don't know if it's available on YouTube, just the interview process. Because I think, no offense to the movie, but I do think that was a more interesting set of, like, 2.5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it was, than the movie was, for my own personal opinion. But yeah, I would say, I guess I can start wrapping it up because my timer is probably...
You got a minute 30.
Minute 30. Look at me. I'm always on time. That's never true. If I would generally say, I do think it was fun. There were scenes. At first, I was gonna give it a very, like, rough rating, but Strider, like, talked to me about it, and he was like, think of the most average movie you've ever seen. And he was like, I think I had more fun with this than the most average movie out there. I was like, all right, that's fair. The bigger problem for me is just, like, the characters and the dialogue throughout it, and it just made it, like, really hard to follow a through line. But the scenes that focused on the actual core of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is the animatronics, like those creatures, those scenes were either almost B-movie levels of, like, funny, silly, because this was also rated, like, PG-13. So you don't see any on-screen deaths, but they are heavily implied on-screen deaths. So some of them, like, are very cheesy in a very funny way. And then also some of the ending scenes where you have Matthew Lillard's character appear. He did very good acting in the puppetry suit that I will probably like remember that scene because both of us went, holy shit, he's actually scary, but none of the rest of the movie was particularly scary to us. But again, Matthew Lillard, I think we both said when he does a role, he's like, okay, I'm in it, I put myself in that headspace and I'm gonna like give it my all, and it made it a lot of fun. So do with that what you will. Maybe it's more fun if you are a fan of the series, just because then it feels like familiar. And you might be willing to ignore the side characters that they added to make a movie. Because I don't know what the Western's obsession with movies are to focus things on like individuals. Because it's kind of like comparing Ring and Ringu, where the Western Ring is about one family, and I feel like Ringu is about like an existential feeling.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I just feel like with the concept of Five Nights at Freddy, like I never played the games. I think I watched maybe like a video or two. It never really interested me, but it always seems like one of those series that is, no, I shouldn't say always. It feels like a series that would be difficult to translate to film, like to give what would be like the heart and soul of Five Nights at Freddy, which is what it sounds like the last like act of it is, from what you were saying. But make it a decent storyline to get there. So it does sound like one of those things where it's like, hey, you either got to do the whole thing in one shot and just that's it, or if they were setting up for more things.
Yeah, there is a second one that I think it might already be done production. I don't know if I'll watch it.
It says it's out.
Oh, is it out?
I think so. It says Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Rating.
It came out in December, it looks like.
Oh, so really recently. It does look like it has a very similar cast. It has Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson in it again.
Yeah. It also has the puppets in it again.
I'd hope so. I imagine they spend a lot of money on them.
Whoever Abby is, they're back. Piper Rubio. Somebody named Debbie is in the movie. I don't know if they are in the first one.
Let me see.
Doesn't look like it.
Not that I can tell.
I like how there's 5 children in the first movie that all are named Ghost Kid.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things. If you watch it, you're like, yeah, it's a Ghost Kid. But I think if I were to share... Okay. Anyway, your turn to talk about a movie.
I think one of the Ghost Kids is in the first and second. Yeah, one of the Ghost Kids is in both movies.
Gasp.
Oh, I wonder if the ghost got older. Don't know how that works. All right, now I got to close out all the Five Nights at Freddy stuff. Oh, yeah, so I was curious. So I looked up the Metascore for Five Nights at Freddy is 33. Mine is a 9.
Wow.
My first movie I wanted to watch was Max Payne. I love the video games. I have a lot of fun with it. I have a certain kinship to the name. So I was like, yeah, this might be fun. I heard it wasn't great, but the problem is I had to spend money to watch it. And I was like, But on the one list that I was looking at for movies, I was like, oh man, okay, maybe this one. I had to bring up the list real quick so that way I can remember it. And so I saw that, and then there was a movie that we both mentioned. I think it was even mentioned the last episode, House of the Dead. And I was like, oh man, maybe. But there was a movie that was rated worse than that.
Wow.
where I don't know what the snot thing is. I don't know if that's
I think it's just rotten.
Rotten
Like,
Tomato.
not good.
Yeah. So House of the Dead had 3. This movie had 1.
You found a 1% rated movie?
Yes, and no wonder it was free, because I watched the movie Alone in the Dark.
What is that? What game is that even?
Alone in the Dark, the video game. It is a franchise series. I never played it. I did watch a little bit of an LP on it. Needless to say, the movie did not inspire me to watch this movie or to play the game. Yeah, whatever I said. The movie did not inspire me to play the game. But essentially in the game, from what I can tell, is that there's supernatural and stuff happening while you are trying to like stop it or pause it, but the monsters only attack in the light. And there's multiple scenarios that you're trying to escape, but you need to have a light source to fight these creatures.
Okay.
That is the gist of the enemies. I don't know if there's other enemies in there. I didn't do a lot of research because holy fart crackers, Batman, this movie was so bad that it made me laugh.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes. So, it starts off, which this isn't a terrible sign for it to start off, is it gives you an information crawl. Except this information crawl is about 5 to maybe 7 minutes long. And it doesn't really, like, there's so much information in it that you forget what you were reading by the at the start, by the time you get to the end.
So by information crawl, you mean like in Star Wars where it goes like and then it just goes for upwards of 7 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, that's a book.
Yeah, that's like a chapter of a book. And it doesn't even like read it to you, and it doesn't give you like cool art. It's just text. It's just like, hey, we found this text on Microsoft Word. We typed it out, and now we're going to put it into the program, into Microsoft Studio with a funky background, and we're going to watch it and just have it go. Where, looking at it, a lot of the stuff that they put in that crawl is stuff that could very easily be mentioned in the movie. And so, pretty much, it starts off where, like, we have this guy that's like, all right, none, give us the kids. You sign the paperwork. He's like, I don't feel very good about this anymore. And it's just like, shut up. We gave you money. Now give us kids. And then it's like, one of them's missing. Dang it. and yeah, so pretty much it's like, whatever, try to find him, do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then we're in the future. Or like current day, where we're with Christian Slater on an airplane.
He's in it?
Yes, Christian Slater is in it. He's the main lead. And he wakes up on an airplane. This kid's like, Mister, do you have a nightmare? And it's like, oh man, does this person, do they know each other? No, it's just some random kid that he was stuck with in the airplane. And he's like, yeah, my mom says that monsters aren't real and all this stuff, as he like has this coloring book of vampires as Christian Slater's character takes it, looks at it, he's like, well, your mom's an idiot. She's wrong. There's things out there. You got to be afraid. Makes the kid almost piss himself on the airplane. And he's like, yep, I may be a jerk, but if you see what I seen, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I watching? And then he fights a bald man in a like pseudo Chinese town, like Chinatown. It's just like they're like going through wrecking all these stores, and it's like the fight choreography is terrible and everything, and it's just like, what is going on in this movie? And there's like a guy on the boat's like, he just landed, kill him. And that's all within like the first 15 minutes of just all this stuff. It's like, what the heck is going on? And then it just proceeds to be like, hey, we found out, like, there we follow, I didn't know any of the actors. So I'm just looking at the IMDb. I don't even know her name in the movie, but Tara Reid, she's in there.
Oh, I recognize that name.
I recognize the name. I don't know what else she's in, but she's like dating Christian Slater's character, and the way we're introduced to her is the guy on the boat is apparently this guy who is going all around the world, pretty much Indiana Jonesing around the world. I did start my time, right? Oh no, I didn't. I thought I hit start. Okay, let me just change. Can I edit it? No. Okay, I will. Don't worry. I don't think I'm going to take the full 20 minutes anyway. We find out that he's like this Indiana Jones character in archaeological digs all over the place, and he's just sending stuff back for this exhibit. And her whole job is like, hey, he sends stuff back. She catalogs it, blah, blah, blah. Well, the way we are introduced is just like, hey, this person, like the delivery person, like, hey, it has to go to this guy. He mailed it to himself. And she's like, I can't get in touch with him. He never calls, and this is my job. Let me take it. While the security guards is just like, yeah. And like he's just there to info drop, and he's just like, yep. It's a shame. We don't know where he is. He just goes all around the world. As like Terry's characters are like, yeah, okay, thank you, Jim. I don't know his name. and then it's just like, yeah, don't worry. While she's standing right next to him, she's just a little bummed because her boyfriend has been missing for the past 6 months.
Just a little bummed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or maybe it's 3 months. I can't tell. It's just like, as she just looks up and she's like, really? You're gonna just tell everyone my whole life story? And he's like, sorry. and he's just, yeah, it's like the dialogue is out there. He's like, wow, good job. And he's like, shut up, get out of here. And then the delivery guy walks away, and he just keeps yelling into the air for like another 10 seconds as like they forgot to cut. And he's like, yeah, get moving, get out of here. As he's just standing there yelling at the dude. I'm like, what the heck? So anyway, that's how we get introduced to all the characters and everything. We go forward, and we learn that like Christian Slater's character, like the orphanage, like gets, like they were all experimented on. He not magically, but like his didn't take. And the only reason he gets kind of a hint of what's going on is that one of his friends from the orphanage that he keeps like connections with, his wife's like, yeah, he just walked out of the house and disappeared. What's going on? And he's like, don't worry, I'll find him. Well, he does. Then I don't know. It's like one of those things like, do I want to spoil this movie?
I'm not gonna watch it, but I cannot guarantee the listeners
Yeah.
want to watch like a
So let me just say, he does find him.
bad movie.
I'll just say he finds him. That's all I'll say. But yeah, it's just one of those things where so that's like everything I just said is pretty much how the first like 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes of the movie is. I don't even know how long the movie was.
Too long, I'm guessing, from the way you're talking about it.
Yeah, an hour and 40, like just shy of an hour and 40. And so it's like it's one of those things where you can tell there's maybe an iota of thought process behind it, but it's also that time of like, I think this came out in the year 2005. Okay, 5 years off.
Okay.
But
does it feel very much like a movie from 2000?
yes.
Okay.
But unlike how movies that came out at that time, like the X-Men, for example, where I think most comic book fans will look at the X-Men series, X1, 2, and 3. Not that they are the best movies out there, but they look at them and they're just like, hey, that is, like, without the X-Men movies, we wouldn't have the Avengers. Like, it's
right.
What started everything. And this, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, this movie could have been like, hey, we could have more video game movies. But it wasn't like it definitely feels like, it's a video game movie. We're gonna have nerds come out and watch it because it's
The
name of it.
Yeah.
Like where the 2000s, I feel like the aughts, like they had good movies and they had, well, this. And so the scene that made me, like, it made me laugh. It is pretty much on the level of the elf when he's chanting, dancing in the woods.
Not to be confused with Will Ferrell's elf.
Yeah.
But we have an older episode of us watching horror Christmas movies, and he was certainly a little guy.
Yep. So, like, just how out of place that was. There's a whole scene where it's like, oh man, we got to fight in the dark, and it definitely goes from real people holding prop guns shooting to CGI, like where everything is in the dark and the camera's going on there, and it doesn't matter what gun it is. Every gun is an automatic gun.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so like Christian Slater and a bunch of other people, they have like the equivalent of like an assault rifle, and they're just like, which makes sense. It's just like, boom, 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 like just like all these bullets coming out. Tara Reid has a Magnum, or like a handgun.
That's automatic?
Yeah, and for some reason, like she's just like, and it zooms in on her. She's like, just like, I'm like, you shot more bullets than there is supposed to be in that gun. And I'm just like, oh my god. And it's just like cool cinematic zoom in as it goes down the barrel of the gun and like does a flip and turns around as monsters are exploding, and it's just goodness. Like, oh man, it made, like, I laughed out loud just sitting there just watching. I was like, what am I watching? I knew what I was signing up for. So would I recommend watching Alone in the Dark? No. But I do think if you want to get a bunch of people together and just rip into a movie and make fun of it and just like
not think about it too hard.
You don't have to think about it at all. There's like you just laugh. It's just make fun of it while watching. Give it the old Mystery Theater 5000. This is an excellent choice, I feel like, for
that kind of night.
Yeah, it's because there's like so there's another character, and like we're only introduced to him at the end because there's another person that's kind of like this army Secret Service governor man, and he's like he's not nice. Why is he here? why everyone mad at each other? And then it's like everyone not so mad at each other, and he's like, I'm going in. You're in charge, random guy. And it's like, okay, this guy is the worst person to put in charge because he's just like, yeah, hey, aren't you going to get that generator started? And he's like, I'm literally working on it. Like, this is, no one has been to this area in like 20 years. Technology be old. And he's like, okay. We go to a different scene. We come back. Is that generator? You said you're gonna have it up 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago. And he's just like, I'm literally still working. And then it's like he gets it up, and then they have to like make this stand against the monsters. And he's just like, yeah. Well, this is gonna make sense more for video. For audio, the guy's like, all right, and he puts his hands on his hips, and he's like, I'm going to check in. And he turns around to a van and starts trying to call into HQ while literally everyone else is dying, screaming, and shooting monsters. And he's like, I can't get a contact. Home base, hello?
Why.
And he's just like, why can't... And then he's literally... He just turns around. He's like, uh-oh. There's just like one other person. And he's just like, hey, instead of like stick together, he's like, you go over there. I'll take care of this. He doesn't. But it's just like he is the most worthless person, and it's like I'm pretty sure he's the reason why everyone died. So, yeah.
Ooh, I have a fun quote from the Wikipedia as you get to your final. Or do you have any?
No, this is it. That was it. Like it's.
Okay.
I got nothing else to share. I knew it was going to be a shorter one. But
It's okay. We're approaching the hour for the full episode, so we still got good content.
mhm.
So I looked up the Wikipedia because I was looking up the game itself because I haven't played it, so I was curious.
Yes.
It says that the original game was set to be you're the investigator Edward Carnby,
Yes.
who's played by Christian Slater, who goes to investigate a haunted house or town full of undead creatures in the first game. And it says it's supposed to be taken by inspiration of writings by Lovecraft, and then later on has inspirations from like H.R. Geiger, etc., as it grew. And it does say that the film adaptations in 2005, an Alone in the Dark film was released starring Christian Slater. The film has little to no relation to the games from the 1990s
Yeah.
or the 2008 continuation, and the film is known as one of the worst ever made. Guinness World Records named the film the lowest grossing game-based movie in its records book for the Gamers Edition in 2008. And in 2009, a low-budget sequel titled Alone in the Dark 2 was released, starring a completely different actor as Edward Carnby, and an entirely new cast and story centered specifically around witch hunting. So will you be watching the sequel?
I didn't even know there was a sequel, so probably. Here's a quote from the movie, just from Edward Carnaby himself. I was tracking poachers across their lines in the Amazon when I hooked up with some of the ex-Chilean military trafficking artifacts on the black market.
Huh?
Yeah, that's like his one of his first lines.
Oh. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Question mark? Cool.
Yeah, there's
A guy indeed. So what would you say? So you said if it weren't specifically for this prompt, you would never have watched
I
this
would have
movie.
never watched this movie. Yeah, it was
But you purposely saw out the worst rated movie.
Oh yes,
right?
I did. Like first I wanted to watch Max Payne, but I couldn't because I'm like
To access it.
yeah, I was like I don't feel like I'm like I want to watch it, but I'm not willing to spend $3 to $5 to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what's on here? And I was like, and then when I saw House of the Dead, I was like, oh man, you know what? Let me just watch a terrible rated movie. And then I saw that was lower than House of the Dead. And I'm like, hey, it's on Tubi. Sold.
And that's for me.
Yeah, there's other ones I wanted to watch. Like, there's some movies I would love to watch for this prompt, but the thing is I already watched them. Like not a great movie, but like I think it's from 1993, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
With the tiny head
Lizards.
Yeah, tiny head lizards and giant shoes and
Yeah.
it was just a fever dream of a movie.
Yeah.
And when I learned it wasn't a Tim Burton film, I was like, are we sure?
I feel like looking at it has a certain charm to it. Like, is it a great movie? No.
But we can all reminisce on it being like, we know what that movie is.
Yeah. And it's just silly. It's
like,
silly in the right way.
Yeah, in the same way that like if it wasn't for the fact I had already seen it, I would have rewatched the old 1990s Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh, same here. Yeah, we mentioned that.
They were also in that little same vein of like, you might have played the game for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I played that game in the arcade. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like the people that made the movie, I was like, why are we doing this? And I also saw that there were like Street Fighter movies.
Yep.
One specifically for Chug Lee's backstory, and I was like, why is she the only one? Like, were they going to do the Marvel universe with Street Fighter where every character gets a movie?
I only wanted to watch a Street Fighter movie for one line where it's just like, hold on, let me see if I can find the line, because it's a line that gets quoted in a lot of Street Fighter nerd culture. Street Fighter 1994. It's weird seeing the new Street Fighter because I watched the movie shoot, now I'm blanking on it. There's a ghost movie that just came out. It's not Possession. it's gonna bother me what this movie was called. I can get to this faster. Because the person playing Chun-Li is in that movie.
Okay.
And it's like, not that I think Presence is the movie. I think Presence, for a ghost movie, I think that was a pretty good movie. It didn't get scored too well on IMDb, but
I didn't realize there was a 2026 Street Fighter movie.
It got.
Was that 50 Cent?
In Street Fighter?
Yes, he's Balrog. Okay.
That fits. Oh yeah, there he is. But yeah, the person playing Chun-Li in there, like, needless to say, there's probably a couple of years in there, but it's just like in the movie Presence, like, she does not have a fighter build. So I'm just like, and I was introduced to that actress like that, and knowing that she's playing Chun-Li, my brain's like, I don't see it, but hey, like, it's been years, so she could have gotten muscle mass and all that stuff, yeah. But so I don't know. I am a little bit interested in that. But anyway, let's see the quote. There we go. So there's a whole scene in the 1994 Street Fighter movie, where Chun-Li is captured by Bison. I don't know how she got captured, but she's captured, and she's like saying, like, I'm here to, like, you did this, like, you killed my dad, you took all this food and weapons and all this stuff, like, against my town. I've, like, pretty much came to hunt you down and get revenge. And so it's just like, you and your bullies were driven back by farmers with pitchforks. My father saved his village at the cost of his own life. You had him shot as you ran away, a hero at 1,000 paces. And Bison's like, I'm sorry, I don't remember any of it. Chun's like, you don't remember? And Bison responds, for you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day for your life. But for me, it was only Tuesday.
Oh, I have heard the joke.
Yes,
it was only Tuesday.
It was only Tuesday.
That's where
it comes from. So.
Wow. It is interesting how meme culture is just like, it takes a lot of steps, and somehow everyone knows the last bit, but not all the steps that lead up to it, which is very funny. So yeah. So that was the two movies we watched. We watched very, like, different times of movie making. I watched a movie that came out within the last 3 years, and you watched a movie that came out in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
20 years. Or 21.
Yeah, 21. So it
is interesting.
It was fun. We both came at it different ways as well. But
and that's the fun of all of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think it's time for our Tuesday to spin that wheel.
All right, let me go ahead and start. I have the wheel up on my screen. I will record it for you to send it your way. And I am going to hit spin. We're down to 45 options.
Oh, my goodness.
Time's flying.
Spinning the wheel.
It was a very close one. It almost landed on one prompt, but instead landed on murder mystery.
Oh.
There is a new Knives Out.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the third. Is it the third one?
Which one? Glass Onion? That's the second one. No, there's one
after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's it called? Knives Out. Knives Out 3. Oh, Wake Up, Dead Man.
Okay. This could be one that we both end up watching the same movie for.
Yeah, well, that means I would have to get Netflix. So
Xbox Live for the Call of Duty lobbies to fit in with the intro. You got time to think.
No, my brain's like, yeah. Sorry, I'm like, I scrolled up and I'm seeing, like, bits and bobs of the trailer for Dead Men, whatever it was, and I'm like, Is that Jeff Bridges? I don't think so. But yeah, it's I like murder mysteries. I read a ton of murder mysteries last
Pretty
year.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but sorry, I just looked over and saw the man in the Freddy head. So, but yeah, so that will be next week and should be a grand old time. I don't have anything to share, so I don't know. Is there anything you want to tell the people?
Go forth, play video games, and watch movies adapted to them at your own risk.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This could have been its own series, video game movies. That pause was, we both were like, oh no, is that next year?
Well, I'm thinking about it. How many Resident Evil movies could we sit through before we completely lose our brain cells? There's a lot of Resident Evil movies.
I know. Well, it depends. Okay, so it depends on what we mean by which ones we're going to sit through. Oh, shoot. I didn't write down the time for the wheel. It was like 104. I'll put 103, 30, somewhere in there. Because there's the live action Resident Evil movies, which some of them aren't terrible. And then some of them are, but then they have the CGI ones that are like part of the lore. So it just depends on, like, are we watching all of them? Like, I bet there's probably maybe 15 Resident Evil movies. Let's see, how many movies are there? Oh, okay. I was close. According to the search assist on DuckDuckGo, there's 11 feature-length Resident Evil movies. 6 of them are live-action films. From the original series, there is a reboot title, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and several animated films. So, and on Amazon, they have the Resident Evil, the complete something. Oh, the complete collection for $32 on Blu-ray, which is just the live action. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's just the live action ones. So,
I guess comment or leave a review and tell us we must watch video game movies as a series if you want to see it happen. Otherwise, I'll be okay not watching Alone in the Dark. I will live vicariously through you about how the movie was.
We could find a completely different list. I think it would be fun to, like, find one of those ranker lists of just, like, a random topic, and then we're like, hey, we're gonna go from the least rated thing all the way to the top.
Or we could just do top, like, 5. So that, because I know we have the tendency, if we watch too much of the same
we're like
thing, it gets, yeah. So if it's, like, all murder mysteries, we'd be like, I know how the formula goes. But in any case,
I've seen these games before. Another series I didn't watch.
I have no other announcements for the people, so unless you do.
No, not that I can think of. So, yeah, we'll see y'all next week with some murder mysteries. Bye-bye.